So I have to talk about superiority complex. Okay, sometimes people insinuate that I am dismissive and superior in the way I communicate. When a person, sometimes that is accurate, okay? And I'm going to explain my sense of superiority in a moment. But before I do that, I have to bring awareness to the fact that in this realm of duality and mirroring, if we see superiority surfacing in someone, it could be the reflection of our subconscious inferior feeling, right? And because the balance is so off kilter within us that we feel so inferior within ourselves, and this is unconscious, our unconscious traumas create this frequency in us. So if within ourselves we feel very inferior, you see how the balance would tip? That would make someone else look so much more superior. But that might not actually be the case. It may just be an unbalanced perception within ourselves because of our trauma, the way our trauma defines our self-worth, right? So to an inferior person, any self-confident person can come across as superior. And I'm going to explain to you now where my superior vibration comes from. It comes from an awareness, self-awareness, that I am not merely this inferior human being, that I house a consciousness that is superior. It is called the consciousness of God. And because the consciousness of God extends outside of the limitation of our human state of being, it is a very large, or you could call it superior, way of seeing and of being. And my identification is not linked to my inferior humanity. My identification is with this grander, superior consciousness. This superiority is not based in the small ego, though. It's different. It's based in consciousness. And because I have this super large awareness, I can be unmoved, I can be neutral, which also can be mistaken as me being dismissive, because I may not come back with an opinion. I may not come back with a counter argument to something another person believes. My superior consciousness does not have to have a counter argument, because I can see that all arguments can be true. All perceptions can be true. My superior consciousness is looking from above, right? So usually how I picture it, it's a triangle with the apex of consciousness right here, and I can look down on a wider range of all the different perceptions and see them all as valid. Okay, that's one way of superiority. The superior consciousness of God enables us to be more lenient, more agreeable, because we don't have to defend every argument from our small ego, from our egoic identity, right? The ego needs everything to be, my way. But the superior view of all consciousness affords me the ability to allow everyone to have their perception, their opinions, their experience, while at the same time I don't have to be quiet about my own perceptions, right? But my identity does not depend on agreement, on agreement of opinions. And that is what is so freeing and so superior to my experience. So that's a different kind of superiority that's not based in ego but in consciousness. When you are superior like that, you can allow people to live and let live, right? Because none of their opinions, thoughts, perceptions interfere with your own. You are a sovereign soul, and that's what you stand in. Your superior sovereignty, if that makes sense. So yes, I am superior. I have the highest awareness, the God awareness, which allows me to let you live your life and have your experiences and opinions without aggressively interfering. I mean, passively I might interfere by simply stating my viewpoint, but I don't need to press it in order to validate myself. When you are in the superior consciousness, you are validated. There is nothing more needed to validate that awareness.